Good morning, middle school, faculty, and parents. Hello, I am 8th grader Cole Cooper, and I am here to talk about my fantastic opportunity I had over the summer. I went to a camp called Camp Cadet. Did any of you guys go over to a camp over the summer? That's good, that's good. Camp Cadet is a fun and unique 6-day overnight camp. The camp was established in 1971 as a way to promote good relations between young people and police. There were 400 people that applied and only 120 were accepted into the camp. In this picture above, those are the counselors. They are state troopers from Chester County. Before I get into what I did during the camp, I have to tell you this: I didn't want to go. When my parents told me I was going to Camp Cadet, I thought it sounded like a juvie. For the people who don't know what juvie is, it's your jail for kids. When the camp began, the first thing they kick it off were military drills. This was my first time practicing military drills. When you are doing these drills, you have to pay attention to your drill instructor. I discovered the military likes to do everything precisely. When they mess up, they like to do it until they get it right. I know it doesn't sound like the best way to start off a camp, but it was time well spent. Then the troopers told us rules we had to follow during the 6 days of camp. 1, address the male troopers as sir and female troopers as ma'am. Dr. Hall, Mr. Klein, you will like this. 2, we had to have our shirts tucked in at all times. 3, lights were out at 10 p.m. and we couldn't talk after that. Lastly, in the morning, we had to wake up at 5:30 and be ready by 6 for PT. So PT is short for physical training, and that's when we run and exercise. PT had to be the worst part of the camp to me because who wants to wake up at 5:30 and run and work out? The next day after we came back from PT, we saw cabins with their beds put outside. The troopers put the campers' beds outside because they made the cabins messy. And I guess the best way to teach them a lesson and not make a mess again was to simply put their beds outside. That afternoon, we went fishing. It was my very first time fishing. I guess it was beginner's luck because I caught 2 of the same fish that day. I was very proud of myself. 3 days out of the 6, we had pool parties. During the pool parties, we played water polo. It was the campers versus the troopers. Of course, we lost, but this gave the campers an opportunity to bond and have fun with the troopers. While we were playing water polo, the director of the camp ordered Ritas for us. And nothing is better than having Ritas water ice on a hot day. Every day the camp had a special speaker from the Chester County Police Department. One day we had a visit from the K-9 unit. The officers demonstrated how they let the dogs go free and catch the suspect. The officers speak to the dogs in Russian. The officers would speak to the dogs in Russian to prevent the suspect from understanding the command. One of the officers brought in a bomb sniffer dog, and they did a demonstration how the dog can find a bomb not in plain sight. We also learned about forensics and crime scenes. We were able to dust for fingerprints, take our own fingerprints, solve for a murder crime scene, and how to properly handle evidence. It was my first time experiencing what goes into solving cases and how much work is involved. The next day it was pouring rain and it was coming down hard. Today's speaker was the SWAT team, and I liked this presentation the best. The SWAT team arrived in their uniforms and the vehicles they used to go place to place. The team brought out their gadgets that they used during their missions, and I never knew how much a battering ram weighed until I picked it up. Following the event, when the rain stopped, we had our team competition relay. And that's when we had multiple stations my team had to get through. The team that won was my team. We beat 8 other groups, so we earned a trophy at graduation, and that we were all proud to receive. Let me tell you this, I can't shoot a gun for my life. If you gave me a gun and a target, I will probably miss quite a few times. The only time I can effectively shoot a gun is in any shooting video game, such as Call of Duty or GTA. It was the last day of camp, and it was time for graduation. and it was a very memorable time for me. Before it all started, we marched and sang military cadences to give the parents a little taste of what we did over the summer. When that was all over, all the campers received their certificates and award they won during the camp. I remember Mr. Smith recently talking to us in music class. He talked to us about not to complain about something that was your first time doing or you have little knowledge of it. I could relate to this because this was my first time going to the camp, and I would complain to my parents to no end. But when it was all said and done, and I look back on it, it was a very memorable and well-spent experience for me. And writing this chapel, it made me think back and remember all the fun times I had going through this. The most important thing I can take away from my experience going through this camp is to be happy when your parents make opportunities for you. And when they make these opportunities for you, you go and do it at your best of your ability. After attending this camp, I found interest in criminal justice and detective work. Before I close my chapel, I will leave you with a quote. Everything seems to be going against you. Remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Henry Ford, thank you.